It's all free.
She's kidding.
I'm Sandy.
And I'm and I'm John.
It's Monday the 26th, and this is your Smart Doll News. Hey everyone.
Oh, that was all over the place. We are back with another Smart Doll News.
Yeah.
And happy Monday, everybody.
I almost didn't make it. I'm actually going to take this down because it looks really bad. I'm sitting here with wet hair because I didn't finish drying my hair. So if anybody was wondering why there was extra time.
Yes, so those of you blaming me in the chat.
It's my fault.
It's almost always your fault.
Almost always.
Almost always. My problems usually come up in the middle of the stream, like I forgot to plug in the mic or something ridiculous. Yeah, we don't have any Smart Doll Supers this week, so we, of course, want to just take the opportunity to thank all of you for joining us live every single Monday. It's really nice.
We really enjoy having this as part of our schedule and our time to interact with the community, so...
Yeah, it is far... I know there's been many weeks where this live stream is what keeps us going, so...
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us. And on that note, let's head right into our headlines.
Yes.
Or not. See, I told you. There's my problems coming up. There. That's better.
Okay, so headlines. We can do them now.
Yeah, and real quick, thank you, Lee, for that Super Smarty. We appreciate it every time. It's... Again, really, really heartwarming the amount of support you all are able to give us every single week. We love it.
It's really terrific.
And Lee says, I spoke trouble into an existence. And I did. I literally did. So we have our headlines. Let's get into it. Okay, it's the other way. We have... a bunch of cyber releases this week.
Yeah.
And, well, not releases. Sorry. Reveals.
Right.
We've got... The first reveal is the Cyborg Torso getting split off into two products.
Right. So we have the one that is used, that you can use for, like, a wig form, like put heads on, mount heads on, and just leave it sitting.
Looks like some sort of weird little spider bot.
Yeah, and then we have a new one that is actually a bust, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's too bad he wasn't able to make them one and the same, but there's some key differences that he had to do in order to get each one to individually work. So if we go through these pictures here, she's wearing a lot of stuff, which we'll get to in a second, but we can actually start to see how the shoulders actually fit into the bust.
I like this. This is cool. It reminds me of like what was the doll that he did, the licensed doll that is like a cyber?
I don't know.
Thank you. Hey.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Excuse me.
Didn't even have a chance. Let's see if we can get the closer up pictures of the back. There we go. The socket is off here. So the socket is on the shoulders is one of the key differences here. It has to be shaped differently, a little bit different size than we'll see on the other one. But here it is.
He said it's got some battle scarring on the back.
Yep, so we can see that here in there. It's interesting. I wonder what ended up I feel like, how did he get to that? Because, I mean, it could be deliberate, but I have a feeling this is more of something like some of the natural things that can happen when dealing with, like, 3D printing or resin and stuff like that.
Right.
And he ended up just sort of keeping it into the mold. I also am interested about these right here. I have a feeling, I'm not sure if those are what he intends. He mentions, oh, well, this is for the bus, so this isn't, we'll talk about these when we talk about the actual torso.
Yeah, it looks like a thing that you can hang on the wall.
It does have that sort of like screw, like
and then drop into
insert
the
and
slot.
drop into the slot thing. Yeah. Here is the comparison of the two versions: the torso being here, and the bust next to it. So the bust has a lot of that extra flashing cut off, these extra parts there, whereas this has an extended shoulder and a smaller hole for those little arm nubbin things.
Arm nubbins.
they're little like arm things.
I love the word nubbins.
Nubbins. And yeah, so that is it. Let's see what he says though. Reasons not to buy.
The bottom of the bust is a little on the large side. It won't hug the human torso as much as human boobs. There will be a gap depending on how you pose your smart doll. Well, we know that. We know what the busts look like. I mean...
Well, he's saying even more so than the regular busts. It's going to have... So, I mean, my guess is it'll look fine, like, straight up and down, but... it'll more quickly as you lean back or forward start to
show.
Yeah.
Some folks may feel the shoulders look odd as the shoulder sockets are not as large as the ones in the human busts. We talked about that.
Yeah, it is. It creates this sort of like ball top. Like you don't have the part
the shoulders
that covers.
have like a protrusion.
Yeah, like the arms fit into a socket, whereas these just sort of fit against a socket.
Mm-hmm. The back of the bust has battle damage, as you can see from the photos. If you have a few smart dolls and bought only one cyborg bust, your girls may start to fight over who gets the cybernetic augmentation upgrade.
It just gets passed around. Well, I mean, unless somebody obviously, it's a part of a character is usually
right.
what it. If you want to cut away the flash of the ports, you'll need a high level of ninja skill and a craft knife. If you can cut away the flash to make it look like a machine cut it, you and I should have a chat. So once again, you'll see this a couple times. Danny likes to, fish out there for people that are highly skilled at some of the harder things that they have to do.
The more labor-intensive things, yeah.
Yeah, to some extent. And sometimes it's just, or even like 3D design skills we'll see mentioned later. Mm-hmm. So here he calls out the rest that's shown here. That he's going to do up a post. He talks about the Cyborg Torso, which we've been comparing, the Cyberpunk Jacket, and the cargo shorts. So that's the that sort of sleek, almost like rain jacket looking thing that we've been seeing for a while. And the Takeo glasses. A new prosthetic shin, and the Solar Marine badge. So when he's talking about the badge, he's talking about this that we've seen as well. So we're going to get some write-ups on these soon, just like he did with this. And we should point out, here's that cyborg prosthetic limb we've been seeing in development for a while to replace the old one.
Now, I know you're not crazy about the tripwires on the boots, but don't tell me that doesn't look like it belongs with that outfit.
It does. I would rather see it over on the side with the cyborg leg, because then it becomes more wires, more texture.
Okay.
Versus seeing it just sort of like sloppy at the bottom of an ankle.
I'm excited about the black cargo shorts.
Yeah, I mean, that whole thing, the shorts, the jacket, looks great. And then we have the Takeo glasses. Which I admit I didn't take the time to really dig back through the archives to try and find where he first mentioned these, but it has been a while. But it basically just says offer. Like
that's what we get when we look it up. We Google it and find this is what it means.
I mean,
offer.
I found what I believe is the right kanji. And so it has this sort of air of consumerism, maybe, to it. But it's like, it's... I feel like they're cheeky, but I don't get it because I'm not Japanese.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it probably has some other sort of meaning that we just don't get.
Yeah.
And we'll find out when Danny actually puts up the explanation.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll include a story of not only what it means, but why, like, what sort of cultural, meaning it has, as well as the literal meaning. But if somebody knows, by all means, tell us. It's pretty cool. But again, it's one of those very, it's one of those things that I don't know how many people are necessarily gonna go after, unless they're really connected to like the statement of them.
Adam Jordan is talking about he doesn't have any smart dolls yet, but saving for his first one. Right now is a great time to buy them.
Yeah, you'll be. You won't have to save nearly as long right now with the current state of the yen.
And who knows when it's going to go back up again.
That is assuming that you are in America, but wherever, everywhere else, it is of course always a different situation. So can't wait to see what comes out with those. Now he followed that up with the Cyborg Torso, which he mentioned before. Now we've seen a lot of this. Here the arm dubers, and the little spider legs things. This is a multi-part thing. He actually describes what goes into this. It is the vinyl bust, a vinyl base, which is kind of center in there, which we'll see in a second. I think he's got a picture of
just the base.
Of it sort of like there. So we have the bust, the base right here, the he calls them the shoulder stumps, and a modified palm spine, so you can see that there, and then 3 clickety joints.
So the same things
bottom.
that are used for the stands.
Yeah. It's just the joint part of them, using them as legs, which is very cool.
I was actually realizing we have a whole bunch of the old connectors. What are they called? The old stand things. The adapters for the stands. Turbo joints.
Yes.
We could probably paint those up and use them.
Paint them black and use them.
Or with anything, any color. Like we could paint them different colors and use them.
Yep. Now he also does talk about using this as a hub, and this is kind of interesting. The chat's already kind of on this. When I first saw this, I immediately was like, huh? Here he's got it. You can do it 2 ways. I'll go to the easy way first. Whoops. Here, he basically, you take the bust off and run your cables up through it and put the bust back on. And it's essentially I wouldn't call it a hub. It's sort of a cord holder. But if you actually had female, the socket ends for these type of things, essentially, if these were extenders, then you could kind of treat it as a hub that you might plug things into. This is basically just lay it through here, and it's kind of cool. They sort of, it looks like the wires are part of the cyborg and stuff.
You can make it into a phone stand too.
If you're feeling frisky, you can try and cut out the port on the chest, and then he says, just put your cables through it. I've been thinking this for weeks, and I keep sleeping my computer. I've been thinking about this for weeks, and the chat is already on it. Let's see. How did Danny fit the cords through the hole?
Can you go the other way?
There's a plug on both sides. So, I mean, it is vinyl, and they are like maybe it is soft vinyl as well here, like the rest of the boobs.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you can warp it enough. I
Push
could
them through like one at a time.
Yeah, I could see maybe getting the lightning cable here through the USB-C cable. But this HDMI cable, I have no clue how he got through.
Well, maybe it's HDMI to something smaller.
So like mini HDMI, or micro or on the other end. That's possible. But yeah, that looks hard. I would not assume that you would naturally be able to do it. But it's a fun little, kind of customizable thing that you can do. So we also have, let's see. Oh, he also talked about the ability to hang it on the wall, which is what I was like, how is he doing this?
Yep. So you take out that piece in the back that is like the drop slot thing.
That's my best guess, although it's upside down on the upper back. The lower back is probably where he's doing it, which is has the slot pointing up.
Right.
I mean, this may not be heavy enough for it to matter, but that's my best guess is that he's cut out those segments.
Really kind of cool. I mean, if you have a lot of extra heads and you have a few of those, you can just hang them on the wall, and that would look really neat.
Yeah. I'm assuming this is in regards to how he got the cables through, but BGT Doll Fam says magic, sorcery perhaps. And that sometimes is the likeliest of answers. Stephanie Carbno also says the logical answer, which is it's vinyl, add some heat,
right.
It'll start to stretch more.
And it'll go. It has memory, so it will go back into place.
Yeah, if you cut there and it might be weird. It depends on how much. I still though think that HDMI cable is not going through, so it must have a smaller plug on the other end. But so, very cool. We have 2 cyborg options now. The cyborg bust option part and the cyborg torso for your option heads.
This one has the that centerpiece, and I'm like, that would look really cool cut out.
For this.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of fun things that I can see people doing with the
cut it out
bust.
and put some sort of like power crystal right here.
Yeah.
That would look really neat.
I could imagine someone like 3D printing an insert for this in like a transparent resin or something.
Or creating a vinyl sticker in that shape that is like some sort of, it could be Solar Marines. It could be like some sort of emblem. I
would love to see a full, like a face-up artist go to town on one of these and just paint it up.
I want to say, there's someone, and I can't think of who it is, but someone in the Facebook groups already has a cyber type doll that they made, and it's all like patinaed and stuff.
Nice.
And I think that would look really cool, like just like a nice like beat up rusty kind of chest.
Yeah. So that is the Cyber Torso. We also have the official announcement for the Cyborg Head Cap, which was that magnetic cap that he did for April Fools, which, like most April Fools jokes, tends to try to come true. Like, I think it's just, these are the craziest ideas I have right now. Let's see if I can make it happen.
And if people show enough interest in them, we'll keep doing it.
Yeah, I like this. So it used to have an SD slot in it, which I always was like, why is this here?
Right.
Danny says it was there so that you could hide an SD card in the head for your naughty photos. And in lieu of that, because it was too thick, it was too deep to make the slot in practicality, that you'll just have to hide your naughty photo SD cards inside the head.
The notion of Smarties as keepers of the porn is
very weird.
Yeah.
It is really weird. But, they are helpful. They just want to help out.
Yeah.
And they don't judge. So that's why we like them. So we have magnets that you can put in. They do not come with... we've dealt with magnets like this before.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, Kit and Kat has all of their jewelry is magnets.
Yep.
And then, of course, in BJDs, you have magnets like that.
Yeah.
Like resin BJDs.
Now, he does mention that there's 2 sizes that will work for this. You're looking for 5 millimeter diameter and 2 to 3 millimeters thick. And you're usually going to get 2 or 3. So it just depends on whether you want it raised, it ends up getting raised up more, but...
I wonder if Vivienne's ears will work.
Probably. It's magnetic. As long as we get the polarity right.
Right.
So that's one of the most important things that, you've got to do when you're dealing with magnets is make sure you get your polarity correct on these.
The polarity is still wrong on Viv's tail.
Yeah, well, that's technically our fault.
Yeah.
Because we didn't send it in.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so what do you think now that it's officially coming out?
I think it's cool. I'm excited about all the different options for it. I'm excited for being able to do things like, everybody's talking ears and things like that. I just want a fascinator to just stay on
there.
the head.
Yeah.
To just be able to put something sideways and have it sit there and not worry about it shifting,
Yeah, not to have to deal with hair clipping and things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good for adding buns too. Instead of having them on the little clips, you could take Haruka's ponytails and put a magnet in them.
Right, and not and be able to do ponytails. Like you'd still have to deal with attaching like the magnet, and you'd have to redesign the ponytail. But because a lot of the ponytails are like designed around the hair clip, and it kind of works pretty well.
Right.
So that would be interesting to start seeing hair accessories, extensions, and things.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for the wig people, that is definitely something to look into because I think that they would sell really, really well if this comes to being like ubiquitous. Like if everybody's getting those head caps, then doing magnetizing things would be awesome.
So we'd love to see what you end up doing and figuring out with this. The one thing to know is that you're not going to really be maneuvering these around. So he does sort of mention if you have a 3D model like these 3D cat ear
the mecha
here,
ears.
that you will, if you need to move them, you'll need to determine the best position for the magnet on that end to sit.
Right.
In regards to wherever the magnet on the head sits.
Yeah, actually Michaela Frost posted a couple of pictures in her Instagram of the ears sitting in different places.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Let me take a look at that. She showed 2 different options for how to position the ears.
Spelling are good.
Okay.
That's right, because it's...
Yeah.
Did we get it right? No.
I forget what it actually is.
There we go. It's just an E. Okay. So I'll go to...
There it is.
What, this? Oh.
Yep. Low magnet and high magnet. So it's showing how you can get that sort of like ears down kind of...
Well, this is actually, it's the same ears reversed. So it's it looks like what she's done is moved it, so off center, basically. So moved it off center. And so what that allows you to do is switch ears to the opposite sides, and now they're high magnet or low magnet because it's going to flip the end.
So you've got alert, perky kitty, and then you've got sort of like, I don't know what's going on, kitty.
Yeah, and then, of course, you can take those ears and start to rotate them on the head to create different emotions and things. Very cool. So we also have probably the biggest sort of data dump of free stuff that Danny has done in a long time, if ever. He put this out, I want to say Sunday night, maybe for us, or the other night. He has created basically a new system for downloading. It was really pretty simple before, and he's got. I'm sure there may be more to come, but it seems like he's taking things that like just not selling these anymore, or they are prototypes that are just not going to make it to reality, and turning them into free patterns. Now, you've had some of the free patterns. How was using the free patterns in the past?
Most of the free patterns are actually pretty easy. Even he says it, you need some experience at looking at patterns. I mean, as a new sewist, I wouldn't assume that you're just going to sit down and figure out how something works and put it together.
Sure.
But if you kind of know your way around a pattern and have some sort of logic as to what you need to do first normally when you make something, they're pretty easy. The only one that was not, and I actually didn't look to see what the changes were, but Danny gave the yukata pattern out like a year and a half ago or something like that to the Smart Doll Appreciation Society on Facebook.
Yeah, it's in their files section.
It wasn't translated. It was like probably still 75% in Japanese. So I don't know if in this case he has actually finished the translation or if he just put it up. It
looks like he has.
Yep, it's translated. Yep.
Yeah, a lot easier.
Much easier.
I will say, the Google Lens or whatever the camera feature of Google Translate helped us a lot when trying to figure this out. Yeah, so basically, one key big difference if you have done it in the past is I would definitely suggest if you've got things in Japanese, re-download them, and heck, try re-downloading them, because I think he did a lot of these over again. What was I going to say? So what he also says is you have to be able to read the pattern, because there's no extra instructions like you would get if you downloaded a pattern on Etsy or bought one in the fabric store, where they give you step by step. Yeah.
Attach this to this, then attach this to this. It's not like that. You have to be able to figure out the steps. Now, I will say, Sam Sally Under Orange on YouTube actually has done most of the previous releases, has done tutorials for them. She figured them all out, and there are video tutorials for how to put those patterns together. So if you are new to the Smart Doll community and you haven't seen her site, seen her channel, go check it out. See if there's anything that, that there's a tutorial for something that you want to make.
Now, he does mention one, I think, important thing, and this kind of goes into just best practices for sewing in general, is that he suggests with like all of these to use a stretchy fabric, especially for the pants. A lot of these are made with a certain fabric in mind. These are not necessarily gonna fit right out of the gate just by making the pattern, because the way the pattern, the way things shrink if you wash them. Some of these I think he says it somewhere in here. The ones that are sold as weathered, the patterns already factor in shrinkage.
So you make it with your fabric and then wash it and shrink it.
Yep.
And it should fit, hopefully.
So, in the end, it's always best, especially with patterns like this that you need to figure out. Do a muslin of them. Take your cheapest junk fabric and try it out. See how it works. See what you're going to need to change. You're more likely, or I should say, you're less likely with these to get it right the first time out the gate.
Yeah, use your scraps. It doesn't even have to match. If you have this, the same kind of fabric in like 4 different prints, and you've only got like a little bit of each, and you want to use it up, this is a great way to do it. Just use up those little pieces. See if it's going to be the right size, and then go ahead and make it out of a fabric that you're happy with.
Yep. I know that's like the stupid, annoying stuff that everyone says and no one does, but it's really important here.
I think if you're used to making things for humans, making muslins is like second nature because no patterns fit a person perfectly. So.
It's also, or you hate doing it for a human because it takes so much more time, but things are a lot faster, can be a lot faster on the doll side. Depending.
Right. You don't have to allow for a lot of ease on stuff for the dolls, generally, because you're just not, and the dolls are one size. There's not like, okay, I gotta allow for the fact that I might gain 5 pounds. The doll's not gonna gain 5 pounds, So
why don't we take a look at the new patterns?
Sounds good. So this is the Mirai summer uniform. This was in Chaos last year, I believe. We actually have a couple of them.
And we've been arguing for the past couple of weeks-ish that like what we were seeing in the behind-the-scenes photos was him re-releasing it versus this, but it turns out he was actually putting it into the patterns.
Yeah. Which is pretty cool. I mean, again, if anybody who watches any of our videos knows that I'm big on pieces that you can reuse and repurpose. And if you're getting the pattern, you can repurpose on a whole new level. Like you can make that skirt out of a different kind of fabric. You can make it longer. You can make it shorter.
We also have the Sequoia Jacket.
Okay, I am looking forward to attempting the Sequoia Jacket, and yet I'm also not looking forward to attempting the Sequoia Jacket.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. I like the thought of making it to go with the cyber stuff, like turn it in with a sleeker fabric.
Yeah.
Or also doing it multicolored, like patches, like make the pockets a different color from the base jacket, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing here is like, even possibly for like uniforms for our space girls.
Yeah.
You've got like pieces here that you could just reblock in different colors and make something fun and interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about the Solar Marine uniform, you could color block this to go with the Solar Marine uniform too.
Sure. Yeah. And of course,
this is my favorite and the release I'm most excited about. I actually already started putting together the blouse part.
This is, just so we say it out loud, the Beard Girl.
This is the Beard Girl dress, yes. So you get a skirt, you get a blouse, and you get a vest with this pattern. And of course, ruffles being separate and stuff, so you can choose to not use them, etc. I started making the Beard Girl blouse out of a floral print, and it's really, really cute.
Yeah.
Like, it just becomes a really cute, peasant-y, feminine top. And you could put a longer skirt on it and make it into a dress. So, I'm excited about this release. This is a very useful pattern.
One of the things I will say, like, all of these patterns are useful, not just to make the things, but to learn, like, the thing that I always find cool about what you do, Sandy, is starting to mix and match patterns together and go, okay, I want the sleeve off of that, or like, oh, I already know how to make this sleeve. I've got the pattern piece right here, and I'm going to attach it to this completely different sleeve. It's like those fashion things, fashion plates, I guess, where you just picking different pieces.
Yeah, and or color forms or whatever.
Yeah.
The little vinyl things. Yeah, I mean, I got that from following Gretchen Hirsch and the 50s retro fashion for so long, and how she would sell these books that are like, match this skirt with this bodice, match this bodice with this sleeve.
And hers are highly designed to be able to do that, but it's not impossible and not necessarily overly hard.
To make it work otherwise, yeah.
So very cool. This I'm pretty sure was new. I don't remember this in there, but it could be wrong. What? It was there?
No, it's new.
Okay. Okay.
There was another sweatshirt, but I don't think it's this one.
Nice casual hoodie. Very cool. Somebody was saying, I've missed it here, but that they weren't looking forward to the Sequoia Jacket Nefertiti because of the tiny zipper insertion. This might be a quicker try at it.
Yeah, the tiny zipper is I mean, zippers aren't fun anyway, and when you have to make them tiny, it's a little bit more challenging. But you're creative, Nefertiti. Come up with a different closure.
There you go. And I think we're starting to get into the older stuff, but the tie front shirt.
Tie front shirt, yep. I like that in linen. We have it in the cotton.
Yeah, the linen looks nice. This is I think this is available before, but this is your t-shirt and jeans combo.
That was the base outfit that you could get with your Smart Doll at one point when he was offering like a package where you could get the doll with an outfit.
Yeah. The rest of the stuff is there. You've got the Stan collar trench, the Henley neck shirt, the yukata. The yukata has been available, but only on Facebook, so it's now available to everyone. You've got the romper, which is very cute, but that's been around. The schoolgirl blazer, and the one-piece swimwear, which has been out in Chaos, and is now there for free. Now that's not all. No.
There is more.
There is more. The other side of crafting for Smart Doll, really the big side, is 3D printing. And he has started a page just like that for STL files for 3D printing models. And I am shocked at some of the stuff that is included here, and it's fantastic.
We've got the Trident head and the...
So let's talk straight up. We have a head. This is a sculpt that is not in production. But you actually have a relatively standard head to be able to, maybe make your own sculpts, but also I wanted things like that so that you could create like headbands or something, things that are going to perfectly fit the head.
So a mask, things like that you can mold exactly to the head.
Right.
Yeah.
The Trident is huge, although I think will disappoint a lot of people, because the implication here is Prophecy, the owner of the doll that this is made for, is probably not coming back if this is out there.
Yeah, we don't know.
So he can always bring Trident back in another sculpt. Although he did make a point to ask, because this is pre G7. This is not Trident on a G7. So there's no nostrils here. And he did say, if you have 3D modeling skills and can make good-looking nostrils, let's talk. So another, moment of Danny looking for talent out there to maybe farm out some work. And on that note, I will say... Beth Ramsden just put up, she's already working on stuff with this, put up a photo of what her husband has started to work on and is already putting nostrils in.
Nice.
Danny, if you're watching and haven't seen this, check it out. I don't know if it meets your standards, But yeah, you know, maybe he'll have some work coming his way.
And they are over in Scotland, so they are not U.S. based. They are based in the U.K.
Yeah, it's hard with the way the nose is modeled. These are actually probably a little overly realistic, perhaps. It's hard to say. I'd have to compare to like a G7. But yeah, if you haven't seen the post that Beth Ramsey has been putting out on the 3D stuff, check it out. And got the head cap. We have the ASL I love you hand. Or my immediate response to this was Danny was secretly modeling SpiderMan.
Thwip.
Which I think is great. I think we should see. Well, we were talking about this earlier, and I said, you know, it'd be great if we saw some Spider-Gwens, you know, but we're not actually sure that Spider-Gwen
I don't
thwips.
know if she thwips. I'm not positive. I don't remember from Into the Multiverse whether she does or not.
I've been too busy to look it up. Here's that mecha fist we've been talking about. We've been seeing him slowly building, or it may be a more primitive version of it. But that one's there. You've got a cyberpunk prototype shoe. The boxing gloves. Looking
Nice.
forward to that. He's actually adding more busts to the 3D print. So you actually have the original large bust with headlights available as a 3D model.
The extra small has been available for a while.
A belt buckle. I don't know if he's...
That's awesome.
There's... Yeah. It's subtitled a meh belt buckle.
But at least it's a belt buckle.
Yep.
Like, you know, it's a properly sized belt buckle.
This is great. The Smart Doll Hero Shoe Last. So now you can 3D print your own shoe lasts that are made of what he would use to make their typical boots. And he says you'll be needing them for something that's coming soon. So it sounds like we're going to actually get boot patterns.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Okay, 3D wig.
I mean, it's kind of neat. It would be cool for cyber stuff to paint it up to kind of look like wires and stuff.
Yeah, okay. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff with this. I see more like you can probably find a lot of like 3D hair type this, and then just put it on a head, you know, sculpt, and go from there. If it isn't obvious that the old prosthetic legs are no longer going to be made, considering he's making new ones.
There's the file.
Yep, you've got the data to print one yourself.
And I think most clothing makers will be pleased to have a 3D hanger.
Yep.
Does it have the CJ logo on it?
Yes, it does.
That's very cool. I can seriously see people wanting to make those, and you can put them in with your products or sell them in addition. So that would be very cool.
We also have we're getting word that Danny posted something. We'll check it out in a second. The quantum mask. What I'm really excited about this, we have two of the quantum masks, I think. We really like them, the idea of them for the stories, our space girls, and the thing that always bothered me that I wanted to get rid of was the CJ logo because it's so prominent, and I really wanted to have something that reflected more of like the kabuki stuff that was going on.
Nothing wrong with the CJ logo, just doesn't work for the stories.
I really want to put something here, you know? So I think it would be great to be able to easily fill this in and add something to that, like I've created a logo, the Imperial logo or whatever, the symbol.
You can make this really look menacing, too, by adding some sort of painted eye onto it or whatever. So it's like...
There's a lot you can do, and especially with like relatively simple planes like this and adding lines, I think you could have a lot of fun with it. leather gloves.
That's cool.
In the normal hand pose. And this has been teased for a while, but the Meowth, Meowth. This is not Pokemon.
The Cyber Meow.
The Cyber Meow ears, and again, he has said this numerous times. He has like retweeted and retweeted, but we want to make it clear to you, all of these patterns and STL files are out there for free for you to do whatever you want with it.
He clearly says you can make money with them.
Yep. You can make them, you can alter them, and you can make money with them. So have fun, go to town,
Make stuff for yourself or make stuff to sell.
What that means, though, is, again, with all of this stuff available, if no one else is doing it, then great. You've got a market to start with cat ears or whatever. If a bunch of people start doing these cat ears, you're going to have to start brushing up on your 3D modeling skills and making yours different and interesting or whatever. Mm-hmm. But you've got a base to do anything that you want, which is great.
Or have really incredible painting skills and do, like, really cool things with them.
Yep. He also tweeted out this. This is really cool. I mean, we've had these graphics. These are old graphics, except these down here are new. Mm-hmm. So he has released in the full 3000 pixel by 3000 pixel PNG files with transparency the graphics. We've already got these up on t-shirts if you want them. We've already added the 2 new ones, which I'll show you in a second. But I want to really point out here these 2 characters. We've been talking and asking about, and in the Discord, people have been asking, give me Coco Chibis. Mm-hmm. Liberty is the girl. Mm-hmm. He has taken to drawing Liberty up, and here we see, I've called this the Jack-o'-Liberty. Mm-hmm. And it's Liberty dressed up as a little jack-o'-lantern. And she even has a lantern to make that hit home. And then this character, who we don't know who this is. All we know is her name, as it currently stands, is Boo. So my guess is, because there's no real, it's generic enough, and the hair color doesn't match the other core girls that have been chibis. And there's nothing like overly identifying on the face, like like Liberty with the vitiligo and mm-hmm. stuff. So it could be someone specific, or it could just be like, oh, I want to, whoever was drawing these drew up a ghost character in the chibi style and made a new chibi girl. So this is Boo.
As far as we know, it's Boo.
And yeah, if you go to myladydisdain.com, you can go to our Halloween collection, and you can get Boo on a shirt all ready for you. And you can get the Jack-o'-Liberty as well.
I like that she's like waving and smiling.
You got a little wink going on. Yep. Yeah, it's very cool. I would also like to take the moment to announce the launch of a few other shirts that are a little bit late. We also added a new collection called Twinning. These are shirts that have had or have a smart doll version mm-hmm. of the shirt that's produced. So we already had the Keep Calm and Carry a Smart Doll. The Future, the Mariah's Future shirt.
I want to put a little ruffle trim on the bottom of mine.
Oh, you should totally do it.
Yeah.
And then we have the newer set, the No Sheeps Given, And I will point out that I've done this in black. Most of these are just in black, but these newer ones, oh no, that's right. These newer ones, I put in a heather dust to kind of match that. It's a little bit more tan than the ones, but the doll shirts are not white. Mm-hmm. They are like a grayish, tannish, something like that.
Right. So this is more of a heathered color. It's actually, there's 2 tones in there, but it'll give you the right effect.
So if you want to more directly match them, or if you just want the classic black shirt, we also, of course, have Waiting for the Drop. And that one is available on Smart Doll as well. Then we have the Smart Doll Pride shirt. And when I was making this, I was looking into, getting the right flags and everything. And I discovered I'm not clued in enough to Pride to know the difference. But there has been multiple iterations of
the flag.
of Pride flags, and people creating different versions to represent even more people, etc. I chose what I felt like was the next big second best option outside of the classic Pride, and I made a secondary shirt, and this is the Progress Pride shirt, which has even more colors on it to represent. I do not have in front of me what each one represents, but so a couple of options that hopefully increase your representation and help your pride in being who you are and in Smart Doll.
I believe the white, pink, blue is trans.
Well, there's trans, there's intersectionality, there's actually black, it's increasing not just sexual orientation and things like that, but also intersectionality along with that, and it's nothing I should be even stating without something saying specifically what it is.
Right. So, anyways, another option.
So that is that. We did have, let's take a quick look at Danny's Instagram because someone called it out.
Something in his stories.
Doesn't look, in his stories.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is about the same.
Creation.
This is just.
This
is a Lego thing. So nothing new in there. At least nothing new.
That was it. That's all it was in his stories.
Yep. So we have a few things to talk about on the last half of our show. The most important, of course, is something that we have to ask every single one of you every time we see you, which I feel like we're a broken record, but would you please like and subscribe?
It's kind of the obligatory thing, but
but it's not it's not it's something that if we don't say, it won't have. If you don't ask and you don't put it out there,
you gotta put it out into the universe.
Yep. And
like and subscribe.
And it's also important, I think, for everyone to know exactly how they can help. Some people are, amazing and are, giving us super chats and things like that. And, it's like it's
of course we love that.
It is fantastic and we love you for it. But not everyone can do that. And we know a lot of you are definitely, great supporters of us. You're watching us every week. So one of the single best things that you can do to help us is to like the video, specifically if you're watching this on the replay. So this will be up on replay a few hours after we go live.
I mean, and subscribe. It's free. And, you know, we're not really bothersome with excessive amounts of posts or anything like that. And if you decide you don't want to be subscribed, you can always unsubscribe. It's a button press.
That's true. So thank you so much to everyone. And I think it's time to talk a couple of things behind the scenes. So here is Semi-Real Chi back again, still in the works. You can see her very distinctive makeup there. Definitely a G7. A little disappointed still.
Why?
I just would love a unique. I just loved the idea that every Chi was like her own sculpt. I totally get why, but yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how he does with paint.
I think she's gonna be super cute as G7.
I'm sure she will be. Danny is really working that G7 and getting as much out of it as he can. Okay. Can we talk about Pride?
Coco Pride.
Here we get our first peek at Coco Pride. This is I'm glad to see that he is, not shying away from the Coco version of this. What I'm interested in, being completely ignorant of this, is how acne typically presents on a person of color. And does this actually work? Right now, I think because of the undertones of the doll, or maybe even what he's using to try and make it, it's leaning a little on the magenta side, the purple side, basically, as far as the coloring goes. And it looks fine to me, but I wonder is this an accurate, what does skin inflammation look? Is it something even he can replicate, right? So I'm sure he's looked into it. I just don't know. And if anybody in the chat or in the comments, let me know.
Magic Durgan says it looks like scarring, not fresh acne, which is what their friend appears like.
So great. And I think that's actually probably, for this doll, scarring is the way to go with it, right?
Nefertiti says, on my skin tone, especially when scarring, it's dark brown.
It's dark brown. Okay. So, this may be also one of those things that is, different depending on the person, depending on the skin tone. And the doll drawing says, looks about right. Also, it's going to be darker on the doll. I will say this. This is a lighter photograph.
Right. Oftentimes his coloring ends up a little bit lighter.
Well, he uses his iPhone, and the iPhone wants to brighten up, all the faces and things like that. And so that may be also part of this. So in person, this may read differently as well.
Yeah. Magic Durgan says, I think it's an undertone thing. And I mean, it could very well be. I mean, if you think about it, inflammation, that's inflammation. That's blood and et cetera, and aggravation of cells coming to the surface. It's still got to come through a skin tone. So
Nefertiti says, I don't really get red. He should look into hyperpigmentation on dark skin. So Danny, if you're watching, that's at least some of the feedback in terms of something, to lean into getting this, as representative as possible. I think this is. I think he's doing this carefully, and I think this is going to be great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited that he's doing it. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. Okay, so I said, hey, Sandy, should we take this picture out, or should we talk about it? Because I can't figure out if there's anything actually all that interesting happening in this picture, but I feel like there's something going on here that I can't figure out.
Yeah, if anybody does anybody have any ideas what's going on here? I mean, obviously there's a color match happening.
Yep. So we got some color swatches that he's actually it looks like he's painted on here, and you've got him up here, but you've got this shape here, which is probably the biggest thing that's confusing me. I don't know. The red here, it's sort of a corally red, and it implies to me like lip paint, things like that. I don't think this is necessarily maybe, I don't think this is what they use for blushing.
BJD Delson is saying painted wigs peep the head to the left, but that's actually, they use those heads to brush the paint off on.
Yeah, this is basically cleaning the brush.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, we're not going to see, especially not like that. That'd be pretty crazy looking. Mag Jurgen says, I think he's comparing tones on the different skin tones, trying to see what colors work to make red look the same on all tones by adjusting which red they apply to which skin. That could be, and this could actually have to do with Pride.
With Pride, yeah. Did we look up what that kanji is on that bottom swatch?
On this? No.
Oh.
It's like 3 characters, and it's not even,
It's probably just the name of the paint or something.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. Well, we'll keep our eye on it.
Oh, there's kanji on that too.
Yeah, but that's way too far and out of focus.
Mm-hmm.
We also have some patches. I forget. Did Danny say that he was going to actually release patches by themselves? Or is this just him making patches that are going to go on?
Those look the right size for jackets and uniforms.
Yeah, these are small doll-sized patches. Yeah, They're not like human patches.
They look like the ones that go on the arm of the jacket and stuff.
Nefertiti and a couple other people said that's Mirai on those swatches. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah, typical, like the name of the company.
Gotcha.
So I put this in there. This isn't an overly exciting thing, but I put this in there as sort of prep for the pictures that are to follow. We've got a bunch more solar marine stuff. You know, that's a bunch more things to put those patches on.
The camo.
Yeah, now it's kind of hard to tell what's going on here, but he gave a much better shot on Instagram, where we get to see a full-on hooded jacket in camo. So this is, I mean, this is kind of like this is basically the red, don't we have the red jacket?
The orange. The red jacket is the...
I'm talking, there's jackets like this already.
Yeah, it looks like sort of like the sweat jacket, but it's also kind of the orange jacket.
The solar marine, the red...
It's orange.
You're talking about like the outdoorsy jacket?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm talking about like the tweed or the twill, thicker, wine-colored jacket.
Okay. I don't remember that.
I think it has a hood. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it doesn't have a hood. It's like this and stuff. It has. I think it's what this is based on. But new camo. I'm not sure why he's blocking the. I mean, I know he does this a lot, but it's clearly a hooded jacket. But he's blocking out.
It says hooded jacket, but those might be on there for some other reason. What are they?
Weights.
Okay.
Now we also have I don't. I would have to translate some of that, but we have the Solar Marine uniform in I don't know what he's going to call this version, but with an orange stripe, as orange is the accent color instead of black. Very cool.
It's very cool.
Quick update on the glasses he was working on.
Human-sized Genesis glasses.
Yeah, I mean, and this is legit. Like, this is professionally manufactured. You can see Genesis glasses there written. You can actually see what size glasses Danny wears. Very cool. How many of you would actually seriously order some human-sized Genesis glasses?
I don't think they would look good on me. Although I have had similar glasses before.
Mimigo Mini says all that the name of the last one here says is Solar Marine White, which, I mean, I guess it must be just like the new version of the Solar Marine White then. Maybe it's replacing the black.
Could be. It's definitely got a very Star Wars vibe to it.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Okay. Can we talk about this? I think we sort of like backloaded the big news, at least as far as we're concerned.
It's big news for us.
Yeah. This is so cool, and it feels a little weird because we just got Elena, did the whole,
ballet thing,
yeah.
and Chantarium sent us the jellyfish ballerina outfit and the shoes, and now we have feet. Pointed toe feet,
yeah,
basically.
Ballet feet.
So cool. I mean, also, it's not just ballet feet. This is just a really good pose for, like, if you're doing, like, martial arts or something like that, you might want a pointed toe.
Sure.
There's reasons for wanting pointed toes besides ballet feet, but I'm very excited about those because I would really like some actual feet that I can make ballet shoes for.
I'm really interested to find out, is this something that Danny is planning on making, or is it something that he was just like having some fun with? Because this is an STL file, so is this, all this stuff is probably STL files, but is this something he's planning on putting in the free? Because it's just not like, I wonder how many people are really going to buy this. Maybe it's going to be a short, limited run or something.
He only does regular, like, heel feet and stuff in small batches, so there's no reason he couldn't do a small batch of these.
True, but then it makes me wonder, like, okay, if he's doing these, is he going to do a shoe? Like,
right.
Why, is it just, and if he's not making a shoe, is he doing these to do, to start having feet that are more like hands, like expressive feet, because right now you have feet that determine the type of foot feet that determine the type of shoe that you can wear.
Right.
You've got heel feet and regular feet. Whereas this, yes, it's either really good for like one shoe,
right.
Or
and socks. You can put lounge socks on it.
Or it's I guess I don't know what other feet positions you would really do.
Like a fully flexed, but you can do that with the flat foot. You can get that foot up a little bit higher.
You do that with the heel foot.
Yeah.
Because the heel foot is very flexed at the bottom.
Yeah, feet don't really do that many different poses.
Yeah, I guess.
So being able to go on point though is very cool.
Mimika says maybe with a new frame he'll be doing swappable feet. The feet are swappable now. It's just that it's not just
the foot.
Yeah. It's the foot and the ankle. But yeah. Very cool.
Jenna commented that's like a Popovi pointed foot. Yeah, that's what I'm actually like. That's one of the things I love about the Popovi dolls is that pointed foot.
Yeah. Very, very, very cool. And that brings us to the Smarty Party. Let's
look.
Have a look.
We came to party all night long. Let's sing along to every song. We don't need nobody's attention. Don't need nobody else in our zone.
right. Thank you so much to everybody who submitted this week. Thank you to Baggins Lover for putting that together. And I do want to mention for anyone in the Discord who's putting stuff in there, if your name has like emojis in it on Discord, I would recommend changing your server nickname for our server so that it does not break the slideshow. If you're putting, submitting stuff into Smarty Party.
Oh, I want to put something out into the universe. We were talking about feet just a minute ago.
Okay.
And I just remembered it, so let me just get it out before I forget. I was watching old clips of Dancing with the Stars last night.
Okay.
And I think if he hasn't seen them, I think Danny would be very interested in this too, there is a version for somebody who has lost their feet. There is a version of a prosthetic for a high heel that is basically just like a curve.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they do that for running as well, which is like a bigger curve.
Right, a bigger curve. So, I mean, those would be kind of fun to have too, and they would look cool with the cyber bodies.
Oh, totally. Like,
Yeah.
especially the like the calf down, ones.
Mm-hmm.
The one for runners is very dramatic looking. I have to see. I'll have to take a look at what the ones for heel.
I mean, they
feet.
may be the ones for running. I don't know, but they used it to represent like it made it like she was standing on her toes to do like a waltz or something like that.
Yeah. Well, what I'm thinking of is typically more for I guess everyone's prosthetics are different, but they go probably higher up the calf or something like that because it's it's just a piece of metal that's bent and it gives them the bounce and the that they need, the spring basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be very interesting stuff to include for the dolls.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say that, put it out into the universe.
Very cool. So we should open it up for a couple of questions before we head out. If you have anything, I'm gonna say we probably only have time for like one or two, so make them count. So I can go back there and give you your cue visually. Magic Durgan said we should look at Michaela Frost's prophecy nose.
Okay.
Carla Newman asks, did you get the chaos? Not yet.
We ordered it. I ordered the 3-pack, and it is on hold. First it was on hold in Cincinnati. Danny got it out right away. First it was on hold in Cincinnati, and now it's on hold in Pittsburgh. So we'll see. We'll probably get it tomorrow.
Yeah. Kanal says, still confused about blue stuff. Not a question. But if you want to elaborate on what specifically, we'll try and answer it. But I think you're in the corner really right now is nobody knows what Danny is going to do. We've only know what he has roughly said, and that's it.
Yeah, he hasn't been making announcements saying anything like, Blue is going to drop in November or anything like that.
I mean, Kay asks along those similar lines, when do you think the next blue drop will be, and will it be the last? I still suspect that there's going to be an October blue drop with Anomaly. There's going to be an October, definitely there's going to be an October gray drop with Anomaly, I think. But he still had some blue to do. I think I would be shocked if blue lasts the year.
I think we may see another batch of option parts, but I could be wrong. Maybe at least some more heel feet because they went really fast.
It's all speculation at this point. Alejandra asked, do we think he will. Okay, so I'm assuming this is maybe a when do we think he'll release the Pocket Smart Doll? I think it's safe to say that's well on hold into next year.
Yeah. He's devoting a lot of time to getting the new frame ready so that regular size Smart Dolls can be released.
Yeah. Anna, so what does Danny mean when he says the dolls will be back soonish? It means that they're... it basically means what it says. Like, there's no time frame, but they're gonna come... It's the intention that they will come back.
Right. That he's basically just saying, at this point, they are not discontinued. They are coming back. They're just not...
They're not prioritized this week. They could be back next week. They could be back in a month. Who knows?
Right.
Nefertiti asks, when's our next sewing circle? Well, Nefertiti, you ran the last one, so how did that go? And do you want to run the next one? Or do we need another volunteer? I think we need to get something going in the Discord to handle events a little bit more, but I'm happy and there to help facilitate keeping things organized and everything, and making sure that we have the tools that we need, but you all can definitely do it, and we'll probably be there.
Yeah. I mean, I think they like to keep me in the loop because it's kind of my thing. You know, like basically be like, Sandy, when are we doing it? Because it's my thing. But the project I'm working on right now is like very involved, and I'm extremely motivated by it, and I'm just kind of in it right now.
I still think you just do it. There's no harm.
We can possibly have one. Well, you're going to be going away too, and I'm going to be lonesome, so I'll probably want to do some stuff in Discord. So,
yeah, eventually, but that's like, like November or something.
Today's Monday. We can maybe. No, we can't do one this weekend. We have stuff going on this weekend. Maybe next weekend.
Tessa's Kingdom asks, do you think he'll restock Fortitude anytime soon? I really want her to be my second Smart Doll. I mean, again, we can never guess specific time frames, but what we do know is Fortitude is his favorite doll. She's gonna be back. She's probably gonna be back soon.
Especially if you want Fortitude in T, because that is like the biggest seller, I believe.
I mean, and people were asking about dolls. Are you asking about full dolls or heads? Because again, we all know right now that with the doll body shortage that we're working towards in the next few months to be done with that, hopefully, and then to have new frames and everything in the beginning of the next year. So it's if you're waiting on like a full body doll with your favorite on there, you're probably waiting a few months at least.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and if you really, if she comes out as an option head and you want to grab the option head, you could always pick up Foundation or Courage and the option head, and then turn around and sell your Courage or Foundation head.
Yeah,
somebody might pick it up.
Chaos, who's our favorite face-up artist? I think most anybody in the chat could probably answer that for you. We are the type of people that tend to find somebody and latch on and build trust and stay with them. There are a lot of really cool face-ups artists that I definitely want to try. People doing stuff, like just way out there. All the artists are different. But for us right now, over the past year at least, it's been Katie Moore, and we've been working, I think, to create sort of a communal vision for our sort of kabuki based doll series that we're working on. So I think that's she's our favorite, and I know I'm like looking up into the sky for some reason. She's our favorite, and with good reason. But I also know that we don't exactly have experience with all the artists out there, and there's some amazing people.
Yeah, there are some really good people. I mean, Katie also did our avatars, so we have kind of a like a style connection to Katie.
She's the court artist.
Court portrait artist. Yeah.
Yes. Kelly wants to know if we can make a video of good face-up artists. We've been looking at about like ways that Smart Doll inspires people and just getting like sort of little artist spotlights of a variety, like YouTubers and photographers and stuff like that. But I think that's not a bad idea to do some spotlights specifically of face-up artists.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's going to be one video or a series, but it's something we can definitely think about. I would say, remind me about it. Use the suggestions forum in the Discord to to request any type of video you guys want to see. I don't think this is a fair question. Kay says, who do you think the most overrated doll is? This is, I don't know. I don't like to think overrated. Okay, so overrated would imply like a ton of people love this doll, but I don't. Which, I mean, overrated is, I think, the wrong thing. You can't really talk about something being overrated when you're talking about art. But,
right. Who do we not like that lots of other people...
It took us a lot longer to like Fortitude, and everybody loves Fortitude. And it was never, really, she was never really my cup of tea. And she, you spend enough time staring at these dolls, and
we actually finally got to see Anime Fortitude in person because we went to Connecticut and saw the doll that John bought for his sister. And she's really cute. And then, of course, we have Nora, the semi-real Fortitude, and we like her a lot, too. If I had to say a doll that's popular that is not my favorite, but I wouldn't say that she's horrible, Monday.
Yeah, that's the easiest answer, is like... But I actually feel like Monday is probably the most underrated doll. I think she's more... I think there's fewer people who like Monday. You either love her or hate her, and I think there's more people in the hater column than there are in the lover column. Mm-hmm. So I would say that Monday is an underrated doll. I did not get Monday at all until I saw her in that red curly, like...
Somebody else put her in a different wig, and it was adorable.
So good. She is very... All the dolls really are highly wig dependent. Some of them are just a little bit more... can wear more things, but you got to find the right wig sometimes. All right. It looks... I guess... Anna Sickaboo says Barbie is overrated. I was thinking Smart Doll. I wasn't really thinking all the dolls.
Dolls that are over. If I was going to pick like any dolls that are overrated, Lol Surprise probably I would put on the overrated list.
Not a huge fan of that style. They're kind of like Pops. The what the hell are the name of stupid figures?
The Funko Pops?
Yes, Funko Pops. We have a bunch. We got into like, they represent somebody we like, but they're really the same thing over and over again.
And you don't really play with them. They just kind of sit on the shelf.
Yeah. Tess getting a doll we wish it would come back. I just come back to this, but Lee says, Lol Surprise can go melt. This is the most like... the scary, the nails are out from Lee. Jeez. Yes. So back to Tessa's question.
A doll you wish would come back. trying to think about that one. We haven't missed too many.
Kabuki. I'm gonna say that. No, I'm serious though. Kabuki's like gone, like gone off of all. Like he eventually just ran through all the skin tones. Kabuki is gone. I kind of regret not getting Coco Kabuki, but I really hope he brings her back for Gray.
She'd be cool in gray.
Yeah.
She'd be very cool in gray.
And I hope he does enough. I just want more Kabuki stuff, you know? I love our Haku anime Kabuki, the cutest doll, like one of the cutest dolls I've ever seen. She is so ridiculous. But I just love, I love more face paint, like dramatic face paint. But, Kanal, we know. Kanal says Blue Relentless.
Yeah.
She's.
It was my understanding that we were still going to see her in anime in blue.
Yeah, we still haven't seen anime Blue Relentless, so I mean I think they're there. I think you're still going to see some blues, but we'll see. You know,
And then
he hasn't. Well, let's put it this way: he hasn't said they're gone. I don't think he's going to go. By the way, there's no more of this coming, and there hasn't been for weeks. He's going to say, here's this drop, and it's the last one.
Right. And when gray comes out, you may be able to find blue on the secondhand market. Someone may go, I like gray Relentless much better than blue. I'm selling my blue and buying gray.
Yep.
You know, so I mean, just like put it out there. Actually, do an in search of on Facebook in one of the groups and be like, I am looking for Blue Relentless. If you have her, you know, I'm open.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people with like some of the older dolls, or you know, this isn't old, but you know, on the dolls that are no longer available, that are just like it's their grail and they really want them. And the best thing you can do is just put out feelers on a semi-regular basis, just to see if anyone is ready to sell.
I mean, a lot of times people pick up dolls because they're into the hobby, they're into the collection, and they're like, this is really unique and I want to have it for my collection. And then they go, man, I got to whittle things down. And the first one to go might be the one that you want.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you're all like pointing out the ones you want. Lots of Journey. Resolute.
Destiny.
Yeah, Destiny. Yep.
Serenity.
T. Kanata. There's
T Moment is stunning.
Yeah.
Anna has Moment in T, and I think she has, it's Moment in T that she has. But anyways, T Moment is gorgeous, and I would love to have her.
Manager says, I got Kabuki and I need another G7 in blue because I can't bring myself to remove the face anymore. Yeah, we've removed a number of...
How many Kabukis did we buy?
I believe I think we only bought 2. We bought like probably 4 regular Kabukis. And then bunch of heads. You know, I've got, you know, G7 and G7 blues and G7. We've got a decent collection of blue heads and various ones to make sure that we can do custom heads for characters, you know, for blue characters, and each of them has a different look. Kay says, last question for me. I think it's going to be the last question from Alia at this point. It's a long night. So, what prototype did we miss that we would love?
G4 Entropy.
Oh, yeah.
I think she was G4, or was she G7? I can't remember. But the updated Entropy. I think he called her multiverse entropy or something like that. Celine.
Right. I like the old ones. Oh, so many pages. Let's go way back.
Oh, the flame chi was really cool too.
Okay, the Millennium Boots prototype are awesome.
They look like a shell, like a bomb shell.
I'm sure I can find there's like the cyber one was pretty cool. This is not like I don't think I really want it, but it's very interesting. I've always found Kanata T alternate really cool. Again, I like face paint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when the flame chi or fire chi or whatever it was. I really kind of like the Plamo hair.
Oh, the cyber candidate.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, this is definitely one. Very, very cool. Oh, there we go. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, the Chi Flame candidate is really cool.
She's like, to me, she's like ambition, learn to do the pouties look or something. Like she figured out a new face. Like that.
Yeah, you're right. That is like, it looks like ambition Chi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. So much good stuff, like poking around in the archives. We had a lot of fun tonight. We will hopefully be getting some boxes of chaos. Everyone's unboxed theirs already, but whatever.
I mean, do you guys still want us to do an unboxing of chaos?
Yeah.
I know everybody's already taken theirs apart and started selling it,
Yeah.
and so we even kind of know some of what's in the box. We've been trying to avoid, but
I told her this was a dumb question. We know the answer to it. You're all going to say yes, which you're doing very loudly in the chat.
Check on Milo. Yes, content.
Jenna says, "Unbox me, baby."
Okay, so it's probably going to come in tomorrow.
Magic Durgan says, you guys are talking too fast. I can't click. Discord live.
Okay, so it may be in the Discord.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We may even start with the time as we continue to work on making this a better presentation for the replay viewers. We may be taking a look at dealing with Q&A separately. I'm not sure. We'll have to keep seeing of how much we want to cut out, and either way, it'll be in the Discord at the very least. So we'll be trying some stuff, and just let us know how you think it's going. We will certainly see you all next Monday at the very least.
That's all for us. Bye.
Bye.